do a little bit of an introduction to chapter 15. And then, like I said, I got a little assignment for you guys to work on to earn some extra credits for the test on Thursday. And hopefully help you with your studying. So, chapter 15, once again, we are still not out of the nervous system. We're still going to be in the nervous system for a while. But this chapter, okay, so what we've learned up to this point, where we have our central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, we had our peripheral nervous system, where it went to the periphery of our body, all right? This time, I think I pointed out when we were talking about the spinal cord, that we were going to come back to some nerves, and this is where we're going to come back to our exiting out of the spinal cord, and this time it's going to be these other nerves, and they're going to lead to our viscera. They're going to be leading to the organs of the body. So as we have those spinal nerves exit, okay, we had, do you guys remember how we had like the little rami, where we had like these little extensions that were existing that kind of came off of those spinal nerves? This is that part, okay? And one of the things that it's going to make up along the spinal cord is going to be known as our chain ganglia. Because if you look, it runs just like a chain along our spinal cord in relationship to these spinal nerves. Okay, is everybody with me at this point? Okay, so autonomic, what does that term mean? Nate?
It's happening involuntary.
This is involuntary. So the autonomic nervous system, like it says, self-governed. This system is independent of our will. This is also known as our visceral motor system because it's dealing with the operation of our viscera, these internal organs. Do we affect it? Yes. Okay? But do we control it? No. So it is going to be regulating what they call fundamental states and life processes. It's going to be regulating stuff such as heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, the urinary system. We're going to have so many things, respiratory, so many things that are happening with this system. We term this, of course, our homeostasis. Homeostasis. Do you happen to know the definition of that? It's the maintenance of our internal environment. And with this system, we're going to find that we also have associated with the system the fight or flight response. Have you ever heard of that? Okay. This is where it's going to come into play. This is what I mean by, do we control it? No. But can we affect it? Yes. All right? Because what is fight or flight?
it's your like your body's kind of like defense system against outside threats,
Yes,
dealing with stress.
the stress, if we perceive danger, lots of things for the fight or flight. And what that means, it prepares the body to either fight or flee. So that's why it's termed the fight or flight. So one of the things that happens, we can't survive without the system. We need the system. It helps us make sure that we maintain, for example, our internal body temperature, which they tell us is roughly 98.6, okay? And the body's going to use processes associated with the system to make sure that it keeps something such as our body temperature correct, the blood pressure correct, the heart rate, the respiration rate, the chemicals of the blood, all this stuff that needs to make sure that we're maintaining our internal environment. Now, it is going to be a system that will control glands. Think, for example, yes, like sweat glands, okay? The cardiac muscle, because cardiac muscle is all to itself, and smooth muscle. Because the other type of muscle that we have, we control it. That's voluntary, the skeletal muscle. So this system is working to control glands, heart, viscera. That's why we know it as our visceral motor system, because that's what it wants to do. It wants to keep the viscera functioning. The primary organs of this system are viscera of our thoracic and abdominal cavities, and then some structures of the body wall. Cutaneous blood vessels. What are they? Do what? Still can't hear you.
Right below the skin.
Okay, cutaneous, because that means the skin. All right, blood vessels that are right below it. Do you know them as another term? Capillaries? Okay. Why?
To dilate and for body temperature.
For body temperature, to dilate and constrict. And remember, it's only at this level that anything occurs, because nothing occurs at this big vessel level, okay? It's all at those capillaries where everything takes place. Our sweat glands, part of the glands that they will control for the autonomic nervous system, you're going to find that we have two types. Or have we talked about that? Anyway, two types, okay? And then that piloerector muscle. Where's that?
The skin. I mean the hair, the skin.
Well, it's part of the skin, accessory structure to the hair. And it's a smooth muscle to the hair, okay? And it gives us the goosebumps. Now, in this day and time, goosebumps we tend to associate with being cold. Okay, yeah. But prior to this, okay, prior to the point where, you know, we don't have to go out and fight the saber-toothed tiger anymore. Okay, what it was a survival mechanism. It alerted the person to danger. It's the reason that we can get that little feeling on our neck and the hair stand up on the back of our neck. Okay, that is actually this autonomic system picking up on something that we're not consciously picking up on and alerting us to the danger of it. We're going to see the actions are involuntary. They are without our conscious intent or awareness. Now, some people may argue that point, and the reason they may argue that point, they go, okay, well, what about yoga breathing? So, without our conscious intent or awareness, this is another thing that I mean when I say we can affect it. Because a lot of people use stuff such as biofeedback to maybe help with heart rate, breathing rate, stress for the most part, stress factors. We're going to find that on the viscera, the effector, in other words, the response that comes back to make it do something, all right, viscera are going to have these effectors. Does that make sense? No? Okay. So if we think about, for example, our viscera, and let's look at our pancreas. And y'all remember, I'm not an artist, okay? Okay, our pancreas, okay? Do you remember how we have receptors? Okay, we talked about having like receptors in our skin so that information could go in, process it, and for us to get a response back. Where did that response went to? The skeletal muscle, the effector, okay? Well, same thing's going to happen. We're going to have located on the viscera, we're going to have areas that a nerve can serve. And therefore, this would be an effector to create an effect in that organ. Because this would be a viscera, this would be an effector, and it would make it do something. Does that help? Okay, so viscera effectors, they don't depend on this system, the autonomic nervous system, to function. Well, then how are they going to function? If it is the viscera of my body, and they're going to have areas that are receptive to the nerve fibers for the autonomic division, what it's telling us, we don't have to depend on this system to make it work, because it's going to work, okay? But there will be things that will affect it, that will affect how it works. For example, the heart. Now, I kind of like the fact that it's beating. All right, I don't know about anybody else. Okay. The heart is its own